Hey Launch Friends, it's Miss Jenny and welcome to week 18 of our lessons. This week we'll be finishing the second part of our story through Lent and through our journey of how God guides us. Follow God. That's right. Last time we talked about a special season or time in our church called Lent. And Lent is a time where we remember Jesus' life. We remember all the things he did for us on this earth. And we do our very best to make good choices during this time. If you remember, I talked last time about how we've been learning stories about Jesus. But we're going to pause through this section so that we can talk about how God guides us. Follow God. Last time we read our story on Lent. This week we are going to go back in time. We did a lesson in weeks 7 and 8 about the story of a man named Moses. We are going to be finishing the part of that story. And the reason that we waited for this part of the story until now is this part of the story talks about ways that we can make best choices because God guides us. Follow God. We are going to be finishing that story. And in this story, it's going to be talking about God's 10 rules. So how do I know how to make the right choice? Guess what? God gave us 10 rules to follow that help us in making the right choice. If we're not sure what to choose, God gave us ideas to help us know this is a good idea or this is a good choice because it follows God's rules. If it doesn't follow those rules, then we know it is the wrong choice. So we're going to be reading about those choices in today's Bible story. Let's move on to our Bible verse. We did it last week. Let's see if you remember it. It says this: "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and He will show you which path to take." Let's do that again. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and He will show you which path to take. That's right. If you trust in God and ask Him for help, He will show you what to do. One of the ways that He shows you what to do is through His 10 commandments or 10 rules. Let's read that story now. God led the Israelites to a mountain. Thunder roared and lightning flashed. The people heard a loud trumpet blast. Then God called Moses to the top of the mountain and said, "I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt." God wrote the 10 commandments on 2 stone tablets for all of His people to obey. The Israelites needed a place to worship. God showed them exactly how to build a special tent. It was called a tabernacle. God placed a cloud over the tent. Whenever the cloud moved, the Israelites packed up and followed it. All right, so you're probably wondering, what were those 10 rules that God gave? Some of them are written in your book, so if you do have the children's Bible we're reading, you can look back at them, but they might be a little bit hard to understand. So I have put the 10 rules in easy ways for you to learn and listen. We're going to learn the 10 rules, and then I'm going to see, do you know which way would be following the rule and which wouldn't? We're going to kind of play a guessing game, and let's see. So the first rule is love God with all of your heart. Number 2, keep God's name holy and special. Number 3, go to church on Sundays or Saturdays. Number 4, follow your parents' instructions or what they say. Number 5, treat others with kindness. Number 6, keep your promises. Number 7, Do not take other people's things. Number 8, tell the truth. Number 9, be happy with your family and your relationships. And number 10, be happy with what God has given you. Now that you know the 10 rules, let's see if you can figure out which choice follow those rules when I give it to you. Let's start. If I said, love God with all of your heart, which choice follows that rule? Would it be to talk to God in prayer or watch TV? Talking to God in prayer. That's right. That's the one that shows that you love God with all of your heart if you're taking time to spend time with Him. Rule number 2, keep God's name holy or special. Now, which one of these choices follows that rule? To say nice words about God or to say bad words? To say nice words about God, absolutely. That's the way to keep God's name holy and special. Number 3, to go to church and spend time with God on Sundays or Saturdays. Now, which one of these choices follows that rule? When you're in church to pay attention, or when you're in church to distract others around you so they can't pay attention? Obviously, if you're in church paying attention so that you can spend time with God and learn something. Number 4, follow your parents' instructions or doing what they tell you to. So which one of these choices follows that rule? To throw a fit when they ask you to do something, or to clean your room when asked? To clean your room when asked. That's right. The rule that God says is that He wants us to follow our parents' rules because they know what's best for us. So if they're asking you to do something, you should do it. The next rule is treat others with kindness. Which one of these choices follows that rule? To hit somebody when you're mad at them, or to use soft touches when playing with others? To use soft touches when playing with others. If you're going to play with a friend, you shouldn't hurt them because that is not treating somebody with kindness. The next rule is to keep your promises. So which one of them is a good choice? To do something if you say you're going to do it, or to do something only if you have time and want to. To do something if you say you're going to do it. That will keep the rule. Sometimes we say we're going to do something, but then we don't feel like doing it later. Well, that is not keeping our promise. When you make a promise, you have to do it even when you don't feel like it, which is a hard lesson, but important. The next rule is do not take other people's things. So which choice follows that rule? If you want to borrow something, ask. Or if you see something that you want, just grab it. Obviously, asking to borrow something is the one that follows that rule. Sometimes friends have really awesome toys, and the store is filled with amazing things. But we cannot take things if they don't belong to us. What if somebody took our very favorite toy and kept it? That would make you feel sad. So if we don't want someone to take our toy, we shouldn't take theirs unless we ask. The next rule is to tell the truth. So which one of these choices follows that rule? To tell the whole story, even if it's hard or if I get into trouble. Or make up a story so that I don't get in trouble. Tell the whole truth. It is the right thing to do. It is not the easy thing to do, even when you're a grown-up. But it is what God's rules say are right. The next rule is to be happy with your family and your relationships. So which choice shows that you're following that rule? Be thankful for your friends and your family, or wish you had better people that loved you and were your friends. Being thankful for who is in your life is the one that follows that rule. The last rule is be happy with what God has given you. So which choice follows that rule? To be thankful for all the things that you have, or to always wish that you had something better? Being thankful for what you have follows that rule. Even though it is hard, that sometimes we want nice things when we see them. We need to be very grateful for what God has given us. Okay, friends, well, those are our 10 rules from God, the 10 commandments. Those are 10 ways that we can help make better choices. Remember, Lent is all about making our best choices for God. And what are 10 ways that we can make those best choices? Through the 10 commandments. So we have some fun activities for you to do this week that talk about making the best choices that you can. Let's honor Jesus and his wonderful life by making the best choices that we can this Lent. You have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.